G'day! In today's video I've got a Lenovo C340, which is also very similar to a Lenovo Flex 5. So here we have the Lenovo Ideapad C340-14 AIP, and on this particular one I'm going to be doing a full screen assembly swap. It was cheaper for me to acquire just a dead one of these with a working screen than it was to buy just the part itself. So do your part to recycle, and let's go through the steps of what's required. I'm going to be using a T4 screwdriver and then a small Phillips head screwdriver. So Phillips head, T4. T4 is needed for the bottom cover, which this one has multiple screws, all of which we can see quite easily, all of which also I believe are the same length. Sit them on there for the second. So we'll need to take everything off the bottom cover, then we're going to have to disconnect the battery, and then we'll disconnect the cables for the screen, the Wi-Fi antenna, and undo the hinges, and be able to swap it over from there. There is a risk that the bottom cover here will get damaged opening it, as the plastic on it is fairly brittle. By that I mean, like, over time, it's not essentially, well, it's not exactly durable plastic, is probably what I'm trying to say, in a kind way to Lenovo. But I've seen these mostly cracked, mostly shattered, mostly not in a good condition. So from here, once all those screws are out, I'm going to grab an edge, start pulling it up. That should mean I can work my way around. Like that. Go, fold it over like a book, and we are now in. So looking here, we do have a fair bit of dust build up on the speakers, which I have seen these fail due to getting small rocks in them. You can see an NVMe drive here, a single sodium of RAM here that's upgradable, soldered on RAM right here, two fans, and the Ryzen GPU or APU. First we want to disconnect the battery. We'll zoom in here. I should just be able to tug this backwards. Might have to use a screwdriver. Got a little bit of the cord to help me pull it back. And then a bit of my nail. I should be able to slide it straight back. We do this so we don't risk damaging the LCD display or the mainboard in the process, as they are quite temperamental with having power on, and Lenovo's like to seem to constantly turn themselves on. So from here, next up, we want to disconnect the video cable over here, which should be pretty straightforward. This tab just pulls straight up. So if I pull that up, disconnected. Going over here, I want to disconnect this daughter board cable. This cable connection flips up. Fold this out of the way. And next up is the two antenna cables. So I remove this bit of packing foam off them. It will reveal them. If I just flick up from underneath, it should come up like that. Same with the other side. Like that. Feed it back out. There we go. Next up, we've got the hinge screws. Start over here. This is where the red small Phillips head screwdriver will come into play. And to note where you actually need to put them back in, see how there's a small arrow here and here. That means the screw goes in there. This one has an X, which means it doesn't. And do this one too. Go back to the other side. We have one loose screw hinge right here. Literally just almost fell out, didn't even have to unscrew that one. So always check the hinges whenever you open these machines. This one here. And if I just lift up the base and drop, I can lift this up from there, lift this up from there, and from here, I should just be able to lift the base off. And we have one assembly removed. So with that removed, we're right to swap the new assembly here. Now what I should be able to do, sit this over the top, fold the hinges back over, or at least to an extent. This one here should be right to go all the way down. Lining up those holes. There we go. There, and push. And then this one I should be able to screw down. Remember, only put them into the one that has the X on it. Sorry, not the N, not the X, the cross, the triangle. We want to go to the triangle. Now we want to feed this through here. And get to here. And this is where it gets, this is probably the most trickiest part regarding the reassembly. Is lining these up over the top. And then push it down and it should click into position. The way you can tell that they're attached is you should be able to just pivot it. You should be able to push the copper side to side. As I was saying, let me connect these up, line them up over the top, push down. It should make a bit of a click, crunch kind of feel to it, and then you should be able to pivot it. If you try and pivot it and it pops off, it's not connected properly. Next up, we'll put this back on there. Then we lift up this connector here and feed this daughter board to main board flex cable back in. Go, push down, that locks into position. If you find that your USB ports don't work when you fire the computer back up after you've done the swap, check this cable here. Next up, we'll go down to the other side. We want to connect up this connector first. So line it up, pull this in, go. And this kind of just lines up over the top and you should be able to push it and it should click into position. Line it up, push, should be nice and even in height. If that is the case, you should be done. Now I want to get this hinge over the top, like so. Probably could have left that, done this after. Go, push down. Then we want to put the screw in here and here. This one originally was loose for me to begin with. I'm curious what it's going to be like now. Will it actually tighten up? So one screw goes in here. And one screw goes in here. So for me that did tighten up here, which is a good sign. It means that the mount for it's still good. Then after that we want to reconnect the battery. Now we should be able to line it up straight and work our way in and just pull it in there like so. Try not to go in on an angle. If you go in on an angle, it's more than likely going to bend a pin and then you're going to have to take the battery out and check that. As I say that, the tab over here for the battery is broken. Tighten that up, tighten that one up. Now we're not moving. So we've got our battery connected, antenna connected, daughter board reconnected, screen connected, and hinges installed. From here, we're right to put the back assembly, back cover back on. There's no real trick to it. It's more just line it up, push down, should click into position. There we go. From here, test out your screen. If your screen's all good, then we can proceed to put in the bottom screws. So for that, we go back to our T4 screwdriver. And essentially all of these are of the same length. Now you may see I have a quite excess amount. That's because I had to salvage one prior to installing the new screen. So I've got a Flex 14, sorry, not Flex 14, a C340, it's got a dead mainboard, and I had to get the part off that. So this one here was also missing one screw, I believe the one up here. So with that screw missing, I can at least now put a few more back into this laptop, and that should hopefully keep it going. Go. And once you get all these screws back in, fire it up, check your hinge, make sure it's nice and smooth and spins around as it should. And you should be pretty much right to go from there. So I hope this video has helped with a screen assembly swap on a Lenovo Ideapad C340. Also to note with the screen swap, it does also include the webcam. So if you've got a faulty webcam and you do an assembly swap, you should potentially have a different webcam, which hopefully functions from there. That connector is built into the video display connector, I believe. Swapping that over should have swapped the webcam and display. Anyway, with that last screw, that will do for today. Hope this helped you, and I'll see you later. Bye.